obviously news to no one, but big news regardless at this point that this weekend there was a historic moment. Someone tried to kill Donald Trump, and in so doing, killed an individual at the rally, injured multiple others, was killed himself. And we're gonna get into all the details about the shooter, but yeah, I think everybody, when they first see the news break of it, it's unlike anything else. It is a moment that obviously potentially changes history. It is momentous. It's also, I think for most of us, it's like the worst nightmare coming true. When you are constantly worried about political violence, when you're worried about what you see day to day, and then you see a politician narrowly escaping with their life, it's a nightmare, okay? And there's all sorts of other associated and affiliated nightmares coming out of it that we'll break down. But obviously, thankfully, Donald Trump was only very minorly injured in what seems like the closest thing to an actual miracle that I've ever seen play out. The fact that a bullet came that close to him and just narrowly grazed him. Unfortunately, while he was only very lightly injured, there was an individual who lost their life. And we want to just start off, before we start talking about all the politics of it, and I think that's what most people are focusing on, and even to the extent that they're focusing on the injuries, it's like 90% on the fact that Donald Trump was grazed. A person lost their life. Corey Comparatori, 50-year-old volunteer fire chief, died while trying to protect his family during the attempted assassination. Multiple people, including his family, saying that he dove onto them to block their bodies with his, and he died. He died saving their life. An actual hero, a heroic act in the moment, didn't wait, did the thing that everybody hopes they would do in that moment, and potentially save the life of his family members. David Dutch suffered damage to his liver and broken ribs in the shooting. He's had to have more than one operation already just in the day since it happened. And there's also James Koppenhaver, a 74-year-old, apparently a registered Democrat, but was obviously in that back section. I was not able to find information about his injuries, but one died, 2 injured, and obviously very light injuries to Donald Trump. And we're gonna break down 1,000 different angles on this, but Francesca, I just wanna know, what did you think coming out of this and in the day since it happened?
Yeah, I mean, there are many, many thoughts I'm trying to organize in my mind. A lot of them also not safe to talk about right now. Maybe on a stage in a comedy club after a couple drinks, if I'm being totally honest with you. But here's what I will say when I see the news of the 2 people injured and 1 person killed. When you hear the firsthand accounts from the people who were at this event, was that they just were innocent bystanders. These guys are people who love Donald Trump. I disagree with that. I don't understand it. I think he's lied to their faces and stolen their money. But they were there, they're Americans, they're civilians, and there were children there, right? I mean, this is, again, and sad to say, another day in America. The fact that it is an attempted assassination does make it different, but by and large, gun violence in this country is out of control. And I think 100%. I think that these Trump supporters experience part of it. And so I just wanna say that, like, for all the stuff that we talk about Donald Trump and his supporters who, tend to be pretty xenophobic, pretty racist. Some of them are pretty violent themselves. I do feel like this is a moment of humanizing all people, humanizing Trump supporters and saying no one deserves to be shot at or killed when they're going to support the politician that they want for president.
Yeah, you should. I think it's kind of the bare freaking minimum that you should get to go to a rally without worrying about any violence, let alone deadly violence.
Yes.
You should be able to expect that. And I hope that coming out of this, the vast majority of people are still going to go to rallies and they're gonna go to protests and they're gonna do all that. But there are going to be some people who I think understandably are worried. Or maybe they'll go, but they won't bring their family. And they should not have, that should not be a consideration. You should not have to worry about that. And the fact that one like deranged 20-year-old can potentially affect the political activity of millions of people is utterly unacceptable. And I know we're not gonna play the video, we've got a lot to cover, but Joe Biden put out a statement saying the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. Everybody must condemn it, everybody. And I think for the most part, other than the For You page on Twitter, everyone has. I've seen a lot of bizarre conspiracy theories and everything. And there are obviously some people that are wishing that more people died, and it's sickening to see that. But I think most people agree that it's unacceptable. And in this sort of moment, I'm very glad of the position that here on TDR we've always taken on political violence. It is always utterly unacceptable. And it doesn't matter who the target is. It doesn't matter if the target has themselves encouraged it. It doesn't matter. It's unacceptable. We've always said that. We continue to say that. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.